what inspired you to go the direction of becoming a real estate investor?
So I, at a young age, realized that I needed to be my own boss. I realized I needed to be an entrepreneur. And that took many years to come to that realization, but once I did, I realized I needed to look at as many different types of businesses as possible and figure out what was best suited to who I am, what my dreams are, something that fits a why, right? Like Jim Collins, Good to Great, he says you need to find the intersection of three things: what you're passionate about, what is lucrative, so what you can actually make money doing, and what you can be the best in the world at.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I looked at, must have been over 100 businesses before I found mobile home parks. But I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I went, I'm probably meant to be in real estate for a lot of reasons. And also when I found mobile home parks, because I'm a former car salesman, I realized that a lot of the sales, overcoming objections, marketing, even the operational standpoint, like process of selling cars, was a really relevant skill to develop to do something like property management. And also growing up as a kid, I realized early on in my life that I really, really want to help underprivileged kids get their education. And so for me to be able to merge what skill sets I have along with what passions I have, and I can merge my kind of charity goals along with what I'm doing, and it like I said, it matches my skill set, it matches my passion, and there's not a lot of people doing mobile home parks, so I stand a chance at quote unquote being the best in the world, however you want to interpret Mr. Collins's way of saying that. It's not, it's a niched industry, so I can really make a splash in it. Relative to like apartments, forget it. I mean, there's something like, the statistic is like 80,000 or 40,000 mobile home parks in the country. That's not a lot relative to how many apartments there are or office buildings. So in other words, it's a smaller niche within real estate. So
Sure.
for all those reasons, I was just sold on mobile home parks when I found it.
And it sounds like in kind of going that direction, you also were already kind of down the path of you wanted to be a business owner, a business operator.
Yep.
And you mentioned kind of you had experience being in sales in the past. So, I mean, that was a viable path. You could have continued on a career in sales and probably done okay or done well. What inspired you or motivated you to want to be a business owner?
I wasn't happy. It's really that simple. I wasn't happy. I'll tell you a quick story. I was about 25 years old, selling cars. So my first year of selling cars, I sold 240 cars. I hit Honda's Gold Award. It was like, I would like to think it was because I was a really good salesman. The truth is I had no life, and that is all I did. So I remember doing that, and I remember the district manager in Washington, D.C., they shipped us up to a 5-star hotel in D.C. and pumped you full of booze and good food. And then basically shake your hand. They're like, we're going to see you here next year again, right? Of course, you're like, oh, yeah, you'll see me here next year. But in that moment, I realized I was not fulfilled. I had sold just an absurd number of cars, basically 20 cars a month for a whole year. I didn't take a day off in July of that year. I worked every single day, and I just had to, you get to the top of the mountain, and I'm just I'm bored. It's not even bored. It's just unfulfilled is the right way to put it. And then at 25 years old, I sprained my ankle playing basketball. And I couldn't sell cars. And I called my boss, and I was like, I got to take a sick day. I sprained my ankle. I can't sell cars because I can't walk. And he had this tone of voice where it was like, I know that legally speaking, I can't tell you no here, but like, dude, you're not going to make money sitting on your couch with ice on your ankle. And I was like, you're right. And so I went out and I bought crutches, and I went and sold cars that day.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I sold a car that day because I would have thought I would remember something like crazy like that. But just the sheer fact that at 25 years old, I can do that, right? And it's not a big deal because I'm young, not athletic, but like I'm healthy enough to hobble around on crutches and get the job done, right? At 65, am I going to be able to do that? No.
Right.
No. And if I'm spending all that time and getting a nice accolade like Honda Gold and I'm utterly unfulfilled, what am I doing? And I just realized that it was a sunk cost and I wasn't happy. And so I just did the really, really tough thing over many, many years of introspection and go, who am I? What do I really, truly want to be when I grow up? What is really going to make me happy? Not tomorrow, because I loved selling cars for about 2 years. And the last 2 years, I utterly hated it. What has got that staying power? It took a long time, but it ultimately came down to what I said right after you asked this question. I was not happy, and I was not willing to settle because X, Y, and Z. Oh, I have student loan debt. Oh, I've got a family. Oh, I've got this or that obligation. No, I'm not making excuses. I'm gonna go do me.